It's a Crow Indian story. There was a boy, and I'll tell this in the third person, I guess. There was a boy who fell in a fire when he was young and burnt the heck out of the side of his face. Really ugly. Scarred up all bad. One side was nice and the other side was scarred. So they called him Burnt Face. And he didn't have any friends. His parents, it was a bad sign, they thought. His parents really didn't do much with him. It comes time for his vision quest. All the other guys are going off with their sponsors to vision quests. He's not. Usually it's your uncle that takes you on a vision quest. His uncle would have nothing to do with it. So he said, I'm going to go off on my own vision quest. Stomped off into the high prairie. And he goes along, and maybe about the third day out, there's a golden eagle that flies past, flew way low. And so he said, well, I'll follow the eagle. Follows the eagle down the path that the eagle seemed to take. Takes it right up to the base of the Big Horn Mountains, sheer cliff, just outside of Sheridan, Wyoming. And the eagle flies up the path up the cliff. So the boy said, well, why not? Follows the eagle up the cliff. Gets up there about halfway, and there's a nest. Now, golden eagles don't build fancy nests like the bald eagles do. It's a bunch of fairly good sized branches along the edge of a cliff, mainly designed to keep the eggs from rolling off and going off in space. And there's one little young eagle there, just about ready to fledge. I mean, it's just about ready to fly. And the mom eagle. Dad's nowhere around. And the mom says, I want you to help me. No, but I've led you here. And the boy says, oh, okay. Eagle says, every year, a monster comes from that lake, comes right up here and eats a surviving child. Golden eagles lay 2 eggs, only one of them is going to survive the nest. They fight each other like crazy, and one of them usually, one that hatches first usually kills the one that hatches second because it's got a couple of days growth on it. So this was a surviving eagle, but the mom says, I want you to save this eagle. The boy says, huh? The mom says, out of that lake now, any day is going to come a big snake. Lots of tribes have these big snake stories. A big snake going to sliver up that trail that you just come up to the nest and can eat this young eagle. Every year. And the boy says, well, why don't you find a different place to make your nest? Well, we're bonded to this place. We can't. We're stuck. Every year we got a nest right here. The boy says, well, I don't know exactly what to do, and it's starting to get dark and it gets cold up there. So he built himself a fire using the branches that were along the edge of the nest. And there was a circle of rocks there he used. A small fire, enough to keep him warm. And he sat in front of that fire and pondered the situation. What was he going to do? Next morning, sure enough, up the trail comes this big monster snake. Fast. He made him slither fast. And before the boy knew it, the snake was up there right underneath the nest. And it opened its jaws like I talked about earlier. And it started coming towards this young eagle who decided this was a good time to fly. And jumped off the nest and took off. Snake looks at the boy and says, well, you're a little bit bigger than I'm accustomed to, but I think I'll eat you. Looks him in the eye. But the boy looks down at the ground, and as the snake opens up its jaws to swallow the boy kicks those red hot rocks from his fire into the mouth of the monster. Then immediately it falls off a trail and goes down and falls into the lake. And there's this big hiss. Boy didn't stick around to see if the monster's dead or what. He's going up a trail fast as he could. Gets up to the top of the mountain. There's a mother eagle. She says, "Thank you, boy. As a reward, I want you to do something for me." Boy says, "Well, okay." Leads him over to where there's a buffalo skull on the ground. The skull was facing to the west. She said, "Sit down on the skull. I'll bring you some food. I want you to stay right here. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to take the rock and bring it over to where the sun rose. And come back down and sit on the skull again." And the boy kind of knows what she was telling him. Back then, you couldn't have your Sundance except the full first lunar cycle after the solstice, the longest day. And it's hard to tell when that longest day is because, well, what happens if you watch the sky every morning, the sun rises in the east, a slightly different location. In the wintertime, it sets, rises rather, kind of down in the south of east, I guess you could say. And in the summertime, it rises. It'll rise till it's way over here, almost into the north of east. North being up in this direction here on this model of the medicine wheel. These are the traditional colors. West being black, north being red, although there's arguments about that. Should north be white or should it be red? And I think red is the proper color. East is always yellow. So, but there was no colors back then. There was just this buffalo skull that the boy sat on, and the next morning he picked up a rock and he goes out about maybe 20 yards, puts it down. So he's got a line of sight from the skull to the rock to the sunrise. Goes back and sits on the rock. The next morning he gets up again, another rock, and he goes and he finds that the sun has risen just a little bit to the northeast of where he put down the first rock, so he puts down another rock. Next morning he goes down, he does the same thing. But on the fourth morning, he goes out and he puts down a rock in the same place as a rock he placed the previous morning. Equinox, solstice, rather. The longest day. He knows now that the days are going to get shorter, but also that this is the time when you have to start looking for the moon, because traditionally you can't do the Sundance except during the first lunar cycle after solstice. And the lunar cycle begins with when the moon appears to be dark in the sky, and goes to the full moon in the back to the dark of the moon. Again, so it's hard to discern when that is, except now he's got a method. If he comes and sits on the skull and looks out at the rocks, he can tell how far away from solstice a day is, and he can tell when it's going to happen. And then the day it happens, what he did this first time is, as soon as he put that first rock down on top of the second rock, in other words, the rocks became a stack, he knew that solstice was there. So he runs back down to his village, takes him about 2 or 3 days to get down there, and tells his people, the medicine man especially, that 3 days ago was solstice. Now they had not calculated it correctly. They had thought solstice um, that the new moon was before solstice occurred, and so they were waiting for. They're going to wait a whole another month before they had their Sundance. He said, "No, no, no, no. You've got to do it. You've got to do it now." They believed this kid. He goes to the medicine woman and he's complaining. He says, I did all this stuff, and I still didn't have a vision quest. I still didn't have my vision. She said, "Boy, you've had your vision." And he knew it was true because all that burnt, all that scar tissue on the side of the face, it was all gone. And when he fell into the fire when he was a kid, his face was clear on both sides. They still called him Burnt Face the rest of his life, but he was honored as discovering how to calculate what solstice was. He'd go back there every year and put down more rocks. And they had other constellations they wanted to keep track of, and so he would sit and watch when they would rise at various seasons. Put rocks down too. We'll show you a picture of the medicine wheel, aerial photograph, where you can see the lake where the monster they still live instead. And you can see the wheel and all the various lines that this boy made. Archaeologists had a hard time believing that you could interpret archaeological sites through stories. And then particularly they believe this story either until you could take like a planetarium type of on your computer, have position of the stars, and turn it back in time. Go back in time so that you can see what the sky looked like 800 years ago. And 800 years ago, it looked exactly like the lines on the medicine wheel, pointing to the various constellations that were reported to the Indians. That's why I believe it was a true story. A man would not have done such a thing. He'd be too busy to throw rocks, put rocks off. But the boy would have done it. And probably the eagle would tell the boy how to work the calculations to make this first medicine wheel. About 1,800 copies of it, all throughout the prairie regions of North America. But they're copies of this original wheel. Those are the two traditional stories that I like to tell at this time.